Bitcoin is right now crashing to the downside exactly as predicted yesterday when we mentioned that we're gonna grab the liquidity that is building up above us and then making a move down towards $60,000. Let's discuss all of this, right, for Bitcoin and of course some major news and some new charts. So first of all, for the new guys here on the channel, guys, we're in a bear market. We know that we've been crashing down, and what is happening right now is very similar. If you look at history, what has happened these last two times, right? We have some form of ascending consolidation. We're going to the upside before eventually having a major push to the downside and breaking down. And the same thing can be said to be happening right now. We are building this position to the upside. We're going to the upside before eventually going down. And you can draw this in a sense as a bear flag pattern. So in my opinion, what is most likely going to happen here, that we're going to go towards the $60,000 region, potentially have another push to the upside, but then what I'm waiting for really is the big breakdown to the downside, just like we had these last two times here. And history often repeats and rhymes. So let's look at Bitcoin here, because yesterday we mentioned actually on the liquidation heat map, which is of course where traders get liquidated on their positions. And these are usually targets where Bitcoin goes to these levels. What I said is that we have a lot of liquidity all the way to like $65,000. And this is what I was talking about. This is the liquidity I was talking about in yesterday's video. And I said that most likely we'll have something similar to happen that was happened before, which is basically a liquidity grab like a trap. So we're grabbing that liquidity that has been formed previously. And in this case, it is of course short liquidations. So the price, the liquidation price is above us. And then we end up getting to this liquidation price, grabbing all of these liquidations, and then continuing our move to the downside. And the same thing is happening right here, right? If I'm shorting right here and the price goes against me, goes to the upside, actually, then I'm gonna get liquidated on that position. And the same thing happened here. And now I'm looking for really that liquidation level down at like the $60,000 level. So all the way to the bottom at $60,000. And here on the 2 weekly chart, we can see exactly this. We can see a lot of liquidity all the way here to like $61,000 and then actually up to like $60,600. And this is juicy. I think we're gonna go there. And if I go back to the 1 weekly chart, we can see here that once we grab the liquidity on the downside, we have now also this liquidity on the top side at around $66,600 to $67,000, which has been previously our target, of course, all the way to like just above $67,000, which I think can potentially be retested once we break down here, find a bounce, and then go back towards here. This is where I'm going to be entering short positions from and waiting for this then to play out nicely, going into the 50,000s for Bitcoin, of course. And what I want to be highlighting here is that right now it looks like we are finding support here at the same line that we previously found support on. I can move this down here, which is basically this line. And what I want to be seeing is a 4-hourly or a daily candle closure below this line. Right now it looks like we're finding some support, but what I want to be seeing is some closure below. And what makes me believe we're going further down is of course the liquidation heat map. Now, the open interest chart here for Bitcoin and funding rates are just telling me, look, open interest is fairly low actually, and open interest has been on a slow decline. So this is basically suggesting that longs that have been there before are slowly being liquidated. And we can see this right here. Longs that have been longing, here the liquidation price is below, and we're grabbing that liquidity as Bitcoin goes to the downside, of course. But what you want to be seeing really is open interest going in the same direction as price for a nice sustained continuous move. And here you can see that, for example, price is going down. In this move, price is going down. Open interest is going down as well. Guys, I'm not looking at if it's red or green per se. I'm looking more, the overall direction here is to the downside. Yes, it's fine. There's one green candle, but I'm looking at the overall direction. And that is it for Bitcoin really. What I want to be showing you guys now very quickly is here this chart, and this is the Bitcoin realized price chart. So it is the average price for which Bitcoin was bought for on the network. And the average price for which Bitcoin was bought for on the network is right now about $53,408. Look at where my cursor is. And usually Bitcoin finds a bottom below this realized price. And we can see that the first time we were below this price for 122 days. The second cycle, we were below for 303 days. Then third cycle, 140 days. Last cycle, 179 days, we were below, trading below the realized price. And right now we're not even below the realized price yet. And this is also another reason, along with many other reasons I'm always mentioning on my channel, for example, October is usually when we find the bottom. I mean, 12 months after the top is when we find the bottom. That's when I expect the bottom to be. But look at this also. We're not even below the realized price yet. And usually we trade for over 100 days below the realized price. Yes, it might be less this time, but let's wait until we go below. And then we can say, okay, most likely we're going to bottom, but I don't think we're going to bottom yet. I think we're going to have another big move to the downside, just like we had previously. And of course, if I go to the weekly chart, I will show you guys where I think we will go most likely. If I just draw the Fibonacci extension lines from the bottom of the last bear market to the top of this bull market, we can see two big levels here. And these are the golden pocket, which is of course this level. And that is where we had previous kind of support and resistance. And then also this level here, which is on this Fibonacci extension line. What I also like looking at is the volume profile. Now the volume profile is telling me kind of at which level is most of the volume happening. So let me just put the last kind of cycle here and have a look. So the volume profile is telling me where is most of the trading going on, where is most of the support. We can see a big chunk of volume right here. We can see some volume spikes right here. And of course at the current price, and that's why we're finding support at these levels, right? So once we break down from here, most likely we'll find go all the way to the next level of the spike, which is here. If I draw let me draw the horizontal ray here. We can see that the spike is approximately at like $52,000, and the next big spike is actually all the way here at $42,000. So let me remove the volume profile and clear this chart up a bit by removing this also. And then we can see basically that these are kind of big targets, right? So what I think is the low 50s most likely can be a bottom, but keep in mind, it could also go lower to this range, because that's also where we have a big chunk of volume. So these are the two targets, and best thing to do in my opinion, DCA, I mean, buy some there and buy some below. Like, you're not gonna regret it in a year's time, trust me. So what I also want to be showing you guys is this chart. And what is this guy showing us? It is showing us basically, have a look at this here. It is showing us, it calculates the total trading volume divided by the number of trades. So if the number is bigger, so this means the average trade is basically bigger. And larger averages means of course bigger orders dominating the market. And this is what we classify as big whales buying, right? If the average order size is bigger, we say, okay, whales or institutions or smart money is buying Bitcoin. And this is a nice thing to see. We can see right here, they're buying, of course, at these support levels here. The $60,000 is a key level of support, which we have been trading on. Look at this on the daily chart. The $60,000 region right here is major support here. And also if I zoom out a bit, major support. So all of the spot buying that is happening right now by big whales is a key indicator for me that we might actually see a nice bounce from here to the upside and get some nice support before we eventually go a bit further down. And I've shown you guys this. Now I want to also quickly mention today we had a lot of down move on the traditional market. So over $2.2 trillion has been wiped out. And in my opinion, it's nothing critical. It's just the correction in the markets. I mean, yes, we've been very overinflated, but I think the AI boom can continue. And usually you make money when prices are down and you buy the dip, right? Just so you guys know. And right here, we have now actually a increase in the probability that the Federal Reserve will increase the interest rates rather than decrease. There's now a 25% chance the Fed raises interest rates next month at the July 29th meeting. At the start of the year, for example, we had been pricing in 2 rate cuts by the July meeting. We didn't have any rate cuts, guys. We had rates remaining the same, and we had rates probably increasing soon. I mean, right now, I think the most likely the chance is no change, but now we have an increase, that there might be an increase in the rates. And guys, you know what that means? That means price of risk on assets like Bitcoin goes down usually. And I think that can make sense, right? We're expecting it to go down. And also, if you're watching the football, let me know who you support in the comment section below. And with that being said, see you guys tomorrow and bye.